The one Grammy I have is for Crack a Bottle. I couldn't even have that without him. You know, and that's why I have so much value for him, not just in my career, just in my life, because he's a guy that, one of my best friends, because I can trust that he's going to be honest with his constructive criticism when it's time to listen to the music before it goes out. I'm not him. See, hip-hop is black music, without question. And unfortunately, for some people, it's tough to accept that you got a white artist that does it better than black artists.
There's stuff from the soundtrack that's in the movie, and there's stuff on the soundtrack that kind of just feels like the movie, because we always want to make, like I always want to do stuff that, when we're doing stuff from music, that fits makes, it reminds you of the, who is this guy? That reminds you of the film.
The bond between Eminem and 50 Cent isn't just about music. It's a story of loyalty, survival, and brotherhood that transcends hip-hop. What started as a business move turned into something deeper. A friendship that evolved into pure family energy.
You know, to this day, you know what's ill about him? Like, he hit me randomly. I showed you my phone the last time I talked to him. He texted me and was like, yo, when you gonna fly me in private so I can land on that dick? What the f is wrong with you?
You could even call it one of rap's realest bromances. Eminem and 50 have been tight for over 2 decades. But their story really began back in 2002 when 50 signed to Shady Records, a deal that would change his life forever. But before that breakthrough came the darkest chapter of his journey. Before joining Shady, 50 had just landed a publishing deal with Columbia Records. Everything seemed to be falling into place until his world literally got torn apart. He was shot 9 times by Daryl Homo Baum, and while he was still fighting for his life in the hospital, word came in, Columbia had dropped him. He had no label, no industry support, and a body full of bullets. On top of that, he was blacklisted. Nobody wanted to touch him. His song Ghetto Koran had stirred major controversy, and rumors spread that Murder Inc.'s J. Rule's label helped keep him frozen out of the business. For most artists, that would have been the end. But for 50, it was just the beginning of something legendary. At that point, nobody would have blamed him for wanting to quit rap altogether. He'd been shot, dropped, and blacklisted. Most artists would have folded right there. But not 50 Cent.
Yo, 50, what's the definition of a wankster, man? I mean, what is that?
Ja Rule, Irv Gotti.
I'll tell you personally, the Murder Inc., the people that you see like Irv, Ja, the people that are involved in the business aspect are bitches. Like, these niggas don't got no hood.
Even when every studio in the US refused to record him, he didn't stop grinding. Instead, he packed up and headed to Canada, linking up with his right-hand man and producer, Shaw Money XL. That's where the real comeback began. From a small home studio, 50 went all in, recording non-stop, day and night. He laid down over 30 songs, pouring all his pain, anger, and ambition into those tracks. These weren't just songs, they were war cries, and he didn't stop there. 50 started flipping the hottest beats in the game, rebuilding them with harder hooks and sharper bars, turning other people's hits into his own street anthems. The mixtape scene became his battlefield, and every DJ in the streets was riding with him. He dropped 50 Cent is the Future, backed by his G-Unit brothers Tony Yayo and Lloyd Banks, and soon followed it with another classic, Guess Who's Back?
I heard it, I brought it to Dre. Dre heard it, he was sold, and basically we said, let's do a joint venture. Me and you get involved.
Yeah, this is perfect. Them sitting like 50-50 on 50, like
Yeah.
cut it down a minute, break it in half.
That's it.
That mixtape changed everything. 50's lawyer happened to have ties with Eminem's manager, Paul Rosenberg. When the CD landed in Paul's hands, it didn't take long before it reached Marshall Mathers himself. M pressed play, and he was instantly hooked. That raw hunger, that authenticity, it hit him different, and just like that, a new chapter began. The start of one of the most powerful alliances hip-hop would ever see. When Eminem heard Guess Who's Back, he couldn't keep it to himself. He immediately passed it to Dr. Dre, the man behind some of the greatest rap legacies ever built. Dre pressed play, and within minutes, he was locked in. The energy, the storytelling, the hunger, and it was undeniable.
It's been an incredible year for me. This movement right here is Eminem's movement, but I'ma hold on to this one. I'ma keep this one. He got a few of them.
50 told me if I win an award, he wants to come out here and hold this for me so he gets used to what movement feel like and how heavy they are, because he's probably gonna get a lot of them.
Both Dre and M knew right then they had found something special. Eminem flew 50 Cent out to Los Angeles, and that trip would change hip-hop forever. Within days, 50 signed a joint venture deal that placed him under Shady Records and Aftermath Entertainment, with Interscope as the powerhouse backing it all. Just like that, the most dangerous man in rap was officially unleashed. From that moment on, Eminem and 50 Cent ran hip-hop. The early 2000s belonged to them. Eminem dominated with the Marshall Mathers LP, selling a mind-blowing 1.78 million copies in its first week, while 50 exploded onto the scene with Get Rich or Die Tryin, one of the biggest debut albums in rap history. But what made it even more powerful was their dynamic. There was no ego, no rivalry, just mutual respect and brotherhood. They fed off each other's energy and kept raising the bar. Their chemistry came alive on 50's debut. Tracks like Patiently Waiting and Don't Push Me showcased two lyrical giants pushing each other to greatness. And when Eminem dropped his verse on Patiently Waiting, fans instantly knew this wasn't just a collaboration, it was the start of a hip-hop dynasty. Eminem's loyalty to 50 Cent showed almost immediately. He featured 50 on Rap Game, a track from the 8 Mile soundtrack. Solid proof that 50 was now part of the Shady family.
You know, to this day, you know what's ill about him? Like, he hit me randomly. I'll show you my phone the last time I talked to him. He texted me and was like, yo, that when you gonna fly me in private so I can land on that dick? What the f is wrong with you?
But not everyone was celebrating that move. See, 50's past was still following him. His long-running feud with Ja Rule had already gotten violent. It was the same beef that led to him being stabbed and later blacklisted from the industry. And now, by signing 50, Eminem had unknowingly stepped right into the crossfire. Before all that, M and Ja had actually been cool. They'd even discussed working together on a track. But once 50 officially joined Shady Records, the entire relationship flipped overnight. Ja Rule turned his anger toward both of them, and the beef spilled into every corner of hip-hop. Eminem, 50 Cent, and Busta Rhymes decided to clap back together, dropping a brutal track called Hail Mary, a recreation of Tupac's classic directly aimed at Ja. The message was clear. He'd never be the next pack. Ja Rule didn't take that lightly. He fired back with Loose Change, a diss so reckless it crossed every line. He went after Eminem, 50, Busta, Dr. Dre, and even M's family, including his daughter, Haley. And if there's one thing the world knows about Eminem, is that you don't mention his daughter. M's response came swift and cold with Haley's Revenge. The moment he rapped, "Haley, what do you want to be when you grow up, baby?"
Because then you can see me.
And my
Fish
arm
out.
at the same time.
Fish out. We need something.
And Dre's been working out too. So.
Yeah, Dre's going out this way, like his chest coming up out this way.
The beef was over. Ja Rule was finished. That line alone became one of the most legendary mic drops in diss track history. One thing about Eminem and 50 Cent, they never backed down from a battle. Diss tracks became their weapon of choice, and 50 took things even further with his trademark humor and ruthless strategy. Together, they dismantled anyone who dared step in their way. Ja Rule, Fat Joe, Benzino, MGK, Nick Cannon, The Game, Rick Ross, the list goes on. But behind the success, the money, and the dominance, there was also pain. Between 2002 and 2008, Eminem went through one of the darkest periods of his life. His struggle with addiction deepened, and when he lost his best friend Proof in 2006, it shattered him completely. While the world only saw the superstar, 50 Cent saw the man behind the fame. Broken, numb, and barely holding it together. During interviews, you could see it. There was one on BET's 106 and Park where M was so high he could barely form sentences. Without missing a beat, 50 stepped in, answering questions for him, protecting him from embarrassment, making sure no one saw how bad things really were.
Ow! Ow! Ah! Beating my shit. Don't fuck with the fucking witch! Lights came on again. And we're standing there, I don't know what the fuck, I had my arm like behind my back.
That moment said everything about their bond. It wasn't just business anymore, it was real loyalty. The kind that doesn't fade when the cameras stop rolling. Through fame, controversy, and loss, Eminem and 50 Cent stayed solid, proving that in an industry built on fake alliances, real friendship still exists. Eminem has always had a unique way of lifting his friends, even in the darkest, most serious moments. Back in 2012, when 50 Cent was hospitalized after a bad case of food poisoning from a burger, M reached out to check on him, but instead of sympathy, he brought laughter. 50 later recalled the moment, saying, "I was in the hospital thinking, damn, this might really be it." Then Eminem called and said, "Yo, Fifth, if you got shot 9 times and survived but end up dying from a burger, man, people ain't gonna take that right. That just don't sound good." It was classic Eminem, dark humor with perfect timing, but behind the joke was real care. That's what made their friendship different.
The white guy called for 50 Cent. So I said, who's the white guy? I'm thinking this Jimmy Iovine. He said, no, Eminem called directly for 50.
M could make him laugh in pain. and 50 knew it came from love. Fast forward to 2022, and that loyalty showed again on one of the biggest stages in the world, the Super Bowl halftime show. Eminem was set to perform alongside Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, and Mary J. Blige. But according to NORE on Drink Champs, there was one major twist. M told Jay-Z straight up that he wouldn't do the show unless 50 Cent was included. That one move said it all. M didn't just bring 50 into the spotlight. He made sure he stayed there. Even after 2 decades, the loyalty never changed. Moments like that show just how deep their bond really runs. It's not just respect, it's love. And 50 has proven time and time again that loyalty goes both ways.
The Super Bowl, I got a query about the World Cup. And they had a budget, $9 million?
$9 million.
Yeah.
A year after the Super Bowl performance, organizers of the Qatar 2023 World Cup reached out with a massive offer. They wanted Eminem and 50 Cent to perform together again. The budget, $9 million. That's right, $9 million for one performance. But when 50 heard that Eminem wouldn't be part of it, he didn't even hesitate. He turned it down flat. No amount of money could replace the brotherhood they built. That's what makes their friendship rare. In an industry where loyalty is often sold to the highest bidder, Eminem and 50 Cent remind the world that some connections are priceless. Their story isn't about fame or charts. It's about trust, respect, and unshakable loyalty. As 50 once said, "My relationship with M is like what Dr. Dre is to him." That says it all.
A relationship. My Eminem is, Dr. Dre is Eminem's. I am to Eminem to me is what Dr. Dre is to Eminem.
Yeah.
So,
2 legends, 2 survivors, 1 unbreakable bond. So what do you think? Is this the realest friendship in hip-hop? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories where loyalty speaks louder than money. See you on the next one.